Alright, what is going on guys, Alex7 here, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been waiting for a lot of test drive limited solo car news, and unfortunately we haven't got anything yet, but I can't wait. But the one thing I will say is that I'm very happy Kilotonn have the TDU SC license, and it's because of the many small details they put into WRC9 and the whole WRC franchise in general. I mean, they have been improving constantly, so let's go into some amazing details I'm pretty sure you guys have missed, or some people may have never known is in their game. So let's go ahead and let me show you. Now the very first one being is that the driver actually uses the handbrake. Now this is a no-brainer because many other games of this genre actually show the driver using the handbrake, so it's a no-brainer that they did have this in the game as well. But nonetheless, a pretty nice feature. Now another small feature is that your tire actually shows flat when it actually becomes flat. As you guys can see in the video, you can see that we have a flat tire and it's actually simulated in the physics, which I'll get into a bit later. But as you guys can see, if you go in close, the tire actually is decompressed and the way it curves is literally like a real tire. Now stuff like that, like I said, yeah, it might be needed, but it's the small things, the way that the tire curves around, that makes it look so realistic, and I'm very happy KT have the TD license for that reason. Now another fun fact is that when it actually finishes, the tire actually completely comes off the car and you're just stuck with a bare metal rim. Pretty interesting, right? Another very small feature that I do love in WRC9. Let's move on to the next one, with that being how the tire actually compresses in general. So weight transfer is a big thing in WRC, and I'm pretty sure KT have gotten it very close in WRC9, and it's been improved since the early stages of WRC5 onwards. So if you guys take a look at this, you can see that the car is under hard braking. You can see that the front tires are actually more compressed than the rear tires, which makes sense because that's where all the weight is on the front tires. So obviously the rear tires will be less compressed than the front. So the fact that they were able to simulate this alone, again, this is small things that count, guys, and I do love it. I'm pretty sure Test Island Slow Crown hardcore mode, if there is a thing, would be crazy, because I mean we would be simulating the whole physics in general of a car, which I'm telling you guys, couldn't be happier the license went to Kilotonn. Let's move on to another small detail in the game. Now obviously another no-brainer, when your car is driving around, your driver actually reacts to the motion of the vehicle. So for example, when you're flooring it, when you go over jumps, when you crash, when you brake, when you turn, the driver and the co-driver actually all react to how the car moves, which is again a no-brainer, but again, small things that count. Now another one is that your driver actually touches the brake pedal and as well as the gas pedal, and of course the gear shifting as well, which again, no-brainer, but it's just very nice to see in a game, and I really do hope that Test Island Solo Crown has something very similar. Now of course it looks a lot more realistic when you're actually using your pedals instead of the controller, because it just feels a lot more immersive when you're looking down and pressing the pedal on your Logitech G923, for example, which by the way, if you guys don't know more about the wheel, link in the description. But anyways, something like that, it just adds to the realism of the game. Alright, so another one of my favorite features in WRC9 is the progressive wipers. As you guys can see, the car is currently dirty and full of dirt on the windshield, but now when you turn on the windshield wipers, as you guys can see, the dirt progressively removes from the surface of the windshield, which is very nice to see. It's nice to know that it's not just one wipe that takes with the whole thing, it progressively goes away. Now of course this changes if the windshield isn't as dirty, then it doesn't progressively goes away. But nonetheless, a beautiful, very small feature that I really do hope makes it into TDU SC, because imagine you're on the dirt road, the windshield is full of dirt, and you progressively wipe the dirt away. Very nice feature, very small feature indeed, that just adds to the immersion. Now another feature is that the ground elements actually react to the car. So for example, similar to how in Forza 4 does it, you drive over say grass or a dirt bush, the actual grass or the flower folds beneath the car's surface. Another very small detail that is in WRC9 that just makes a whole immersion a lot better in the game, and I'm sure this would be a feature that we would see in TDU SC as well, of course. Let's move on to another feature. Now if you did not know, as your car gets damaged in WRC9, you're going to notice a lot of things. First off, the car actually sounds different, so you'll actually hear engine knock, you'll hear the brake noise a lot louder, you'll be able to hear the turbo noise quite differently, it'll sound like the turbo is damaged. You'll also have the transmission sound a lot different when your transmission is broken. All these very small things that are actually in the game when your car gets more damaged makes it so realistic, and in fact you'll actually feel it a lot more, especially with the wheel. So for example, when I'm using my Logitech G923, I can actually feel the wheel like as if the engine is really knocking in the game. So I can feel that, I can feel the transmission whenever I shift, I can feel it lag. It's quite, I can't even explain it. It's something that you guys are going to have to feel when you actually try out WRC9 yourselves. I can't really convey that same message to you, but nonetheless it feels amazing when you actually damage the car. Not that you should always damage the car, if you know what I mean. Now another very small feature is that when you actually blow your shocks in WRC9, the shocks actually get blown. So here's a quick video. You guys can see that the compression rate in the Citroen is actually a lot more broken than it is supposed to be. So you can see that there's a lot more sway in the vehicle than there should be. Now another great video that can showcase this is this car right here. Now I actually made sure that this car had fully maxed out springs so it shouldn't compress at all, but on this jump the springs are actually completely compressed, which just shows that the shocks are obviously blown, because that shouldn't be happening when you go on a jump. So again, another very nice feature that has made its way into WRC9, and I'm sure, listen, if they ever made a hardcore mode for TDSC, all these physics simulated, I think this may be the game we've all been waiting for, guys. If we're being honest with ourselves, the license couldn't have gone to anyone better. Now, of course, just like all games, here's the car with the fully at max suspension. You can see that damage is pretty hefty in this game. You can damage all the body parts in your car. If the door opens, the wing falls off, the front bumper falls off, the rear bumper, you see scratches, everything. So another nice feature that I really do like in WRC9. Now, of course, day and night cycle and snow, rain is all going to be in WRC9. So I'm very happy that they were able to simulate a night cycle or a storm to weather changing cycle as well. As you guys can see the trees react to the environment and actually start swinging and moving as the storm progresses through, which is a very nice. So you can see that you can even hear the rain when we go into the interior mode. But for now, enjoy this time lapse and I'll show you guys another feature after this. Alright guys, so to end off this video, my favorite feature in WRC9 is the actual flames that come out of the cars. They're not just like one flame that pops up on the screen and goes away. It's like a continuous flame that actually flows out the exhaust and finishes. I can't even explain it, but the way you guys see it, you can see that's a lot different from Forza Horizon's 4 flames, which I personally think are trash. But guys, take a look at this. The flame actually progresses outside the car as a real flame. So something like this, I obviously want to see in Test Drive Limited Solar Crown as well. But guys, these are most of the small details that I found in WRC9. I'm sure there's a lot more, so leave a comment down below on what you guys think I've missed or anything that you have seen as well. But this gives me a lot of hope for WRC9, because again, it's always the small things in a game that really make a game, especially when you compare it to racing games. So there's a lot of small details in, say, Drive Club or Dirt Rally, Forza Horizon 4 that make the game what it is. So hopefully we see a lot of these details make its way over to Test Drive Limited Solar Crown, guys. I cannot wait until we get more news on that. But other than that, leave a like down on this video, guys. Let's try and get this video to 50 likes and subscribe for more Test Drive Limited Solar Crown content. You know what it is. I can't wait for the developer interview as well. I'll see you guys in another video. I'm Alex7 and I'm out. Peace.